Alright, this one's all about making a web banner. We're going to make it in Photoshop, but you can make it in any image editor that you know how to use. Here's a good question to ask at the start. What makes a good web banner? Let's go ask Google. Right, so here's a image search for web banners, and look, there are literally millions of them. Now, let's think about what are the parts of a web banner. Let's have a look at this one here, for example. It's got a background color. The background has some sort of features. It's got a gradient here. It's got a background image, and this image has been blended into the background. It's got some other kind of logo designed here, and it's got some text. Let's look at this one. It's got a background image. It's got some solid color effects. There's some gradients used here, here, and here, and it's got some text. And the text has an effect on it, a drop shadow effect. Plus, it's got a little logo design there as well. Just about every web banner on this page has the same thing, a background with various effects on it, images and text. So if we're going to make a web banner, we need these four things. We need backgrounds, we need images, we need text, and we need to be able to use some effects. And luckily, if you know how to use Photoshop or some image editing program, you should be able to manage all those things. Let's get started in Photoshop. Here's Photoshop. You need to find out what a standard size for a web banner is. I'm going to use width 800 and height 150. I'm going to use a plain white background, and that's all good, so okay. Right, so now I need to go back to my list. I'm going to get a background, I'm going to get some images, and I'm going to get text. Each of these are going on a separate layer, and then I'm going to add some effects to make it look nice. I'm also going to find some examples to copy, so I'm going to do another search, this time for specifically Kaylee Band web banner, and there you go, you'll see examples here. Look, again, image, background, effect, and text. Image and text on that one. Same. Here's a clever idea. They've got some images in the foreground, images in the back, which have been blended. Here's a good idea. Take a big image and just zoom in and use a part of that. I can easily do that by loading the image into Photoshop. Alright, so here's a basic example. You've got, I've got a black rectangle for my background, I've got a image on top of that, and then I've got some text on top of that. Not very happy with the way the text is laid out, but I can fiddle with that later. Don't breach copyright, take your own images or use copyright-free images, and now we need to save it. So I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to save it as a PNG. Make sure you don't try and put the Photoshop file onto your web page. You either need to JPEG it, or as I'm going to do, PNG it. You need to navigate and find the images folder in your web page. So mine's in my documents, my web page is coming up there, images, and I need to save it in there, and I'm going to call it banner. Okay. Right, so here's my page, there's my heading. At the moment I've got that heading up there, and I'm going to change that and put the image tag in. So you know how to do that. Pause the video and go away and do it. Alright, so here's the image code, IMG, SRC, speech marks, and the address of the image. And remember, this says it's in the images folder. This is the file name. If you get any of these wrong, like the wrong file type or the spelling of the file name, it's not in the images folder, it won't show up. But thankfully it's kind of worked here, so let's just have a look at that. And there's the banner at the top of the page. Here is the folder structure, there's the index page, inside the images, and there is the banner image. Alright, have fun with that. Looking forward to seeing your fantastic banners on the top of your awesome web pages.